Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something really big. We're trying to get our heads around the concept of an all-knowing being. It's fascinated people forever, right?
Yeah.
So our goal today is to kind of explore the architecture of omniscience. How can it even work?
That's right. We've gone through some really interesting source material on this. It tries to unpack omniscience not just as a given, but something you can logically think about. It uses some surprising analogies to make this, well, very abstract idea a bit more concrete. The aim is really to give you a quick but solid understanding of what all-knowing could actually mean.
Okay, so let's start with this really interesting idea from the sources. They ask, could an all-knowing human exist? Which, sounds like total sci-fi.
Yeah.
But they say, well, think about something like the CIA. People sometimes talk about them colloquially as knowing everything.
In that general sense.
Right. So for one person to be truly all-knowing, they need, agents everywhere, cameras, access to all data, a total surveillance setup.
A massive network.
Exactly. And what really struck me is the sources argue this isn't just theory. They actually say it's technically feasible.
Which is quite a claim.
It really is. Think about what that implies, not just for divinity, but for, human knowledge and data today.
It's a powerful starting point. And what's key here is that knowing doesn't have to be instantaneous. Speed isn't the barrier if the data is kept and processed fast enough, even if it's just at the speed of light. If info travels and gets processed that fast, then, well, the idea holds together. The sources make a strong case. It's almost hard to imagine a creator not knowing what they created.
Like an inherent link.
Precisely. Between making something and knowing it completely, they even mention scriptures, about beings recording everything we say and do, suggests this idea of universal data capture isn't entirely new.
So from that sort of human-level data idea, the sources zoom out, way out, to the universe itself. And they suggest its very design might be the key to omniscience. How does the structure of everything relate to knowing everything?
Well, the material suggests the universe isn't random. It's profoundly logical.
Yeah.
There are inherent relationships between all the bits and pieces.
Okay, so that means...
It means everything is, in principle, knowable. Through induction, like figuring out rules from watching things.
Or deduction.
No.
Pulling specifics from general rules.
Exactly. The universe is this giant solvable puzzle. Every piece connects. They give this neat biological analogy. You see clubbed fingers. You can deduce likely oxygen deprivation. Same principle, cosmic scale.
Right.
And this leads to a really big thought. You can almost think of the universe as a giant brain.
Or a computer.
A cosmic computer. Yeah. Just like your brain knows about or can know about every cell in your body, maybe an all-knowing entity could know every particle in the universe. And this is where the sources argue that omniscience pretty much requires intelligent design.
Is it because of that interconnectedness?
Without that logical structure where everything relates and is therefore knowable, the whole concept of total knowledge kind of falls apart.
Okay, this is where it gets really nuanced, though. Our sources bring up something crucial. A lot of knowledge, especially about us, about human choices, might be known conditionally.
Ah, yes. Not necessarily absolutely or instantly known in every detail beforehand.
Right. They mention examples like tests in religious texts, for instance, designed to sort believers from non-believers. The idea seems to be that our input, our choices, have to happen first.
Yes, they precede the outcome.
And then the outcome is sort of fixed or determined based on that input. So it's not like every single choice is pre-written.
Exactly. It's more about knowing the potential outcomes based on meeting certain conditions, what will happen if you do X. And this conditional aspect, it fits perfectly within this idea of a deterministic, calculable universe.
How so?
Because everything in the universe, fundamentally particle physics, cause and effect, it's all seen as calculable. Given the inputs, the outputs are fixed, predictable. And because it's calculable...
It's knowable.
Precisely. That underlying calculability is what makes it knowable. According to these sources, that's the core meaning behind the Latin word omniscient, the capacity to know everything because everything is basically understandable and determinable.
So wrapping this deep dive up, we've really looked at omniscience not just as this abstract idea, but something with a potential logical structure. We've seen how data processing, the universe's design, even human analogies help us sort of conceptualize it.
Yeah, we've peeled back some layers on the potential architecture.
Definitely. So here's something maybe for you, the listener, to think about. If you consider this idea of a universe that's fundamentally calculable, predictable, how does that maybe change how you think about free will? if it does at all?
That's a great question to ponder. Reflect on that interplay. A logically designed, knowable universe, but with this element of conditional knowledge tied to our choices. Thinking about omniscience this way, it really does reshape how we might understand knowledge itself.